Hey everyone. In this video, I've invited Niranjan to share more about surface grippers in Nvidia's i6M. During my recent hackathon, co-hosted with Revel, he submitted his project using surface grippers on multiple manipulators, and is now sharing his knowledge with us. So thank you and welcome.
Hi guys, my name is Niranjan. I work as a lead robotics engineer at Electron Robotics. And one of the things that we do here is build physics accurate robotic work cells. And one of the most important factors for robotic manipulation is having to model the dynamics of end effector. We're going to walk through the Surface Gripper API that is available in ISACSM's documentation today. Basically, if you want to simulate a vacuum gripper, a suction cup, or any end effector that relies on surface contact, this is the tool you would need. So it gives us a precise control over the physics of the grip, including parameters that are tunable like force limits, torque, stiffness, and damping. So with that said, let's get started. So when you download ISACSM, what you can find is usually inside the Isaacson folder. When you go ahead and look inside, there's a standalone examples folder. And when you go inside that, specifically in this particular folder, you'll have a UR10 pick and place example. So this particular example gives us brief introduction into the Surface Grippers API usage and how it is defined, how they attach it. So let me just first quickly run this particular example.
Yeah, I see that you are working in a conda environment. Are there specific dependencies that we need for this one?
So nothing specific. This is just a virtual environment that I had previously installed when I was downloading additional libraries that were present. Specifically for ISACSM version 4.2 and 4.5, there were additional libraries that I had to download for to get assets inside. So yeah, that time I had to create this virtual environment.
Okay, great.
Yeah, as soon as we load the example in the stage, we can see a physical a ground plane that is already present with a UR10 manipulator with a surface gripper attached to its last link. And this is basically the gripper. And this is also again present in Isaacsen's assets library. And we can also follow LycheeAI's other tutorial, which talks about how to attach a gripper to the manipulator as well. So I just follow that, and we have this like a USD of a UR10. And let me just go ahead and play, and you can see what's gonna happen. So this is using Isaacson's pick and place controller that is again pre-built. It's gonna pick it up and it's gonna place at a certain location, at a target location.
If I'm not mistaken, the pick and place controller is using RMP flow under the hood, right?
Yes.
So this one is not only a smooth, but also like a collision avoiding trajectory planner, right?
Yes. And I'll just briefly go through the code as well on what's going on. And under the hood, like what's the logic behind the entire pick and place demo. So usually for me, what I do whenever I look at a code, I try to develop this like pseudo code or like a SI flow diagram on how it works. So basically, when you look at the code, it's just a bunch of input statements and how they just pull in some functions that are predefined, and they just load in the variables that are necessary, and you can just do that. But this flow diagram will give you guys a brief understanding on how the demo works. Basically, it loads a UART and USD, attaches a gripper, spawns a blue color cube at a specific location, and then we configure the robot's home position and gripper state. And then we use a pick and place controller that is again pre-built using RMP flow to move the cube and spawn towards hard-coded target location. And it just runs. So again, this is just the pseudocode and the flow diagram of how it works. Now looking at the code, initially this is the basic input statements. Specifically, the one that we are interested right now is this one particular surface gripper function. the class that is also defined. We can later in the video, we'll go ahead to this particular location and see how the class is defined, what are the attributes that are present, what are the things and parameters that we can alter. But for now, in this demo, they load in the assets as usual, and then they add it to the scene, and they define the gripper USD as well. This is the short gripper that I had previously mentioned. It is again present in Isaacson's library. And this is the home position that I was talking about, configuring the robot state, and how as soon as it loads, it has this like all the joints move to this certain position and stay there. And along with that cube, a dynamic cuboid that's gonna get loaded to the specific location. And color is just RGB, a blue color, solid one. Yeah, pretty much. And this is the pick and place controller that is again already present. I'm just like, we are just utilizing that. And this is just another for loop just to say and how to run the pick and place. So when the simulation starts running, we get the observations from the world, the conditions, and then we do the manipulation task, the picking and placing positions. All of these, thanks to Nvidia, we have this like beautiful, nice APIs where we hard code these positions and we can just have this like nice demo. And I've just like given a brief about like how the code works. Now, the important thing that we are here for today is just to understand the grip Surface Grippers API. I'll just open the specific location so that everyone has an understanding about what is the class, how was it defined, how was the code written, all of that things. So from here, we move back a little and we go to so over here, once we get in to this particular location, we have the surface gripper.py folder and just expanding on this. So we are working with this class surface gripper. Its definition is present in the script as well as inside the API's documentation. The API's documentation is specifically present in this link. Once we go to this particular link. It has a detailed explanation about how do you create a surface gripper, a gripper overview, and what are the things that you can create. So right now we are just using high level idea. We are just taking some parts from this API and then using it. And just to give a brief idea about the things that are present inside the Surface Gripper API, we'll just go through some of the parameters and we can tune them a little, and then we can go ahead with the example. So as you can see inside the script, and there are a couple of important core parameters. So these are the few of them. And here, the end effector prim path is just a string that specifically tells us exact part of the robot model the gripper is attached to. In our case, over here in this file is world UART EE link. So this is the reference point for gripper's position and translate and over here, translate and direction, these both work together. They define the exact suction point. Basically, tell the translate is just a float value that tells distance in meters to offset to the end effector's prim path, along with specific directions in X or Y or Z directions. So this allows precisely, this tells the API that which direction the grip point is presently is present, the suction cup model is present. So in our example code, we use specifically x-axis translation of this much particular distance, 0.1 meters in x directions. So this is just a picture of the surface gripper that we are using, the ideal one that was attached to the robot. So over here on top is usually where the gripper's origin is usually present. And the translation that 0.61 meters that we talk about inside the example folder, this just tells the API it needs to move its origin from this point to this point over here so that it gives the motion planning algorithm an understanding about where the suction should start and in which direction. So when we are defining this over here, it's specifically with respect to the end effectors axis, local axis. It's not in terms of like world frame. This is in terms of like gripper's frame, the x at the direction that we are defining over here. So this is pretty much about translation and directions. Rest, gripper threshold and other force limits, torque limits, and KP and KD. So these are some of the things I'll just again briefly go through. One of the things is the gripper threshold. So by default, it is present as 0.01. This just gives us the maximum distance from the suction point to the object. So as you can see, that when we load the gripper, inside the example, when we load it, the gripper threshold is nothing but the distance from the gripper's point, which we define, to where the suction should start. So by default, it's just 1 centimeter, which is 0.01 meters. That's by default, that's present in the Surface Grippers API. I'm just moving the ISXM aside to show you guys inside the, the Surface Grippers example. So this is the grip threshold that I was talking about. By default, it's a 0.01 that's already present. So think of this like an activation zone for the gripper to start. So this is more sort of like helps us in terms of like adjusting this one particular value. If there are small objects inside the scene and in a cluttered way, if there are so many, assumed there's a bin and with so many small objects, you want your grip threshold to be as small as possible because when you want to pick one specific object, it needs to go very close to that object and then suction should start. If you have a larger gripper threshold, what happens is even before the gripper goes and reaches to the object, it'll start the suction. So it might end up picking multiple objects if in case the object that you're manipulating is small. And that's the other one. That's grip threshold. And the other ones are just force limit, torque limit. These are just self-explanatory. These are just float values that define the strength of the gripper. Under hood, ISXM creates virtual physics joints to hold the objects. So these limits determine how much force or torque the joint can withstand before it breaks. Assume right now we are just manipulating a 500-gram cube. If it were to be like 50 kilogram, which is way beyond UR10's, like maybe the last gripper's limit that it can pick, it might end up breaking it. So the physics will not be so accurate. And for heavy objects, you might want to increase these force and torque limits. For very light and delicate, you can just reduce that. And rest the other two ones that are like KP, which is the stiffness of the gripper, and KD is damping factor. These are like physics properties of the virtual joints that are present. Those are majorly present for the stability. So KP stiffness, think of it as like springs tightness. High KP makes the connection very rigid. The object of the gripper's motion is would be precise. If it's too high for the object's mass, it can cause jittering or vibrations. Whereas KD is like moving the spring through molasses. It reduces oscillations and helps stabilize gripper during fast movements. So instead of assume you are using industrial manipulator. That time you want to have a high KD, so that reduces the oscillations and helps stabilize the gripper for fast movements. Couple of advices would be in terms of like if you observe the object when the manipulator is picking, the best thing to do is to increase the KD value. And yeah, it's all about like finding the right balance of KP and KD for different manipulators. So now that we've seen how the Surface Gripper API is present, there is another thing called as Surface Gripper properties that is also defined. It has more detailed informations that we can add into it. Right now, it's just limited to these values. When you go inside the API website that I previously showed, it contains more number of information that we can alter, like Young's modulus, all of that kind of things. And there is this one specific thing that I wanted to mention. Usually in Fusion, when we have a CAD, the origin of the gripper is usually present at the center or on top of the gripper. This is quite essential for us to shift this origin to the base of the manipulator where the manipulation is happening. This is important because it gives the motion planner an understanding on where to go and stop and how to manipulate. If this were the case, what would have happened is the motion planner would understand this is the last point where it needs to go and grab the object, and it would just go and crash.
Thank you so much for sharing, Niranjan. I also want to take a moment to thank all my Patreon supporters. Without you, these tutorials wouldn't be possible. So thanks.